Hello everyone, it's Carissa and I am here with a card project for you. This project is actually for the My Pink Stamper March blog hop, so go ahead and go over to mypinkstamper.com and start from the beginning if you haven't already done that. Our challenge this month was to use green for St. Patrick's Day, and you're not seeing green here yet, but I promise there will be green. I just kind of wanted to save it to the end because it's kind of my piece de resistance. So I'm starting out with a piece of pattern paper that I printed from the Best Friends Cricut Imagine cartridge. Now, when I print these, I kind of pre-print these and keep them in squares. So I'll fill my page with like 5.5-inch squares or 5-inch squares or something like that. I can't remember, 5 1/8 or something. And I just fill those squares and then I print 4 at a time and then cut them out myself. So, and that way I have these perfectly scaled pieces of pattern paper pre-printed and ready to go for my card projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to cut this down to fit my card. Now my card is going to be 5.5, so this is already about that size. I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 so it's matted on my card. And then I'm going to cut it down to 4 this way. So I will cut that there. So I have a nice little mat for my card and I know kind of what size I'm working on. It's actually all going to go on a white card base. This is a shimmer cardstock from Stampin' Up! And it's nice and sturdy, but that will go right on there like that. But I can work on this without the card base at this point. So I have my pattern paper background, and then I'm going to bring in this little rainbow cut. Now this is from the Create a Critter Cricut cartridge. Yes, Create a Critter Cricut cartridge. Say that 10 times fast. And it is a rainbow and it has this little heart on it, but don't worry, I'm going to cover that up because that's not really St. Patrick's-y in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I have the base cut here. I'm going to go ahead and assemble this just using some two-way glue really quick. Now these pieces are also big enough that you could use your ATG or tape runner or whatever it is that you use. This was just happened to be sitting there. So I'm going to assemble this. Now I could have actually gotten away without cutting the base because this rainbow piece here could have acted as my base, but I did not realize that when I cut it. So I went ahead and just am going to assemble it on the base for ease. Okay. So I have my rainbow all put together and my plan is for it to go kind of on this side. I don't believe I said this, but this was cut at 3 inches. And I've also cut from the Create a Critter Cricut cartridge a cloud, and it goes nicely with these clouds that are already on this paper. And I cut that at 3 inches as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is adhere my rainbow down on the card so I can get placement for everything else that I'm going to place. And I'm just using my ATG for that. So what I think I'll go ahead and do is adhere this down using some dimensional adhesive. Just take that large part and just cover the heart that's already there. Let's see, did I make that straight? Pretty straight. Okay, and then I will just turn this over and trim off the end of that cloud where it hangs over. So it's kind of going off the page there, or the card, I guess. Now, this is where I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I will bring in some of my green elements. This is my little shamrock, my big shamrock, that I am going to, it's cut from this new Die Cuts with a View, let's see what it's called, Glitzy Glitter Stack. And it's not a really chunky glitter, it's a very fine glitter and it doesn't come off on your hands. It kind of reminds me of the American Crafts POW glitter paper, if you've ever seen that. So it's a really nice glitter paper. It cut beautifully on my Cricut. I did not change any of the settings that I normally use. So cut wonderfully. So I cut this from the Paper Doll Dress Up cartridge at 3 inches. It's one of the accessories that's on there. And then I have this little white button here that I have gone ahead and pre-threaded with some green twine that's from the Twinery. So my idea is that this is going to set right here, and I am going to be using the My Pink Stamper Itty Bitty Licious stamp set. I'm going to be using this little Good Luck stamp right here. So I have that already on my block, and what I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out if I want to do this on like a tag hanging from that. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my shamrock. This will help me get placement for my sentiment. So my shamrock's there over my cloud, and then I will take my button here. I'm just going to use one of these glue dots here to place that on there. And now I have most of the pieces of my card glued down on the base. So I'm thinking I can place that right there, or I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper, or piece of white paper, cardstock. It was a little scrap. And I am just going to ink this up in some dark brown, it's called Early Espresso ink from Stampin' Up. I'm going to go ahead and put this down so I can kind of tell my placement on this. And I'm going to stamp it once. Okay, so I've tried this a lot of different ways, and I think my favorite way is just, I trimmed off those other two. I was going to use like a strip of the Good Lucks, but I have trimmed this down and just made it this one little tiny Good Luck that's going to stick out right from that button. And what I did was I just kind of lifted that button, and that glue dot under there, I kind of just smashed it in there and allowed that glue dot to kind of hold it in place. And then on the other end, what I'll do is just take a part of this little dimensional here and place it underneath here to kind of keep it in place on this end. Okay, so as you can see, I went ahead and carefully pulled my card apart so that I could add a little embossing to the rainbow. I used a Cuttlebug embossing folder and just ran that through, but be careful. I would recommend doing that ahead of time if you plan ahead, which I didn't. So that's embossed now. I just felt like it needed a little extra touch. And I am going to bring in my white card base here. Once again, this is just a shimmery white cardstock from Stampin' Up. And I am going to place this right on there. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add some more twine somewhere to this, or if I just kind of want to leave it plain. And I think it has enough going on as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this to my card base. And then I think I'm just going to add some little bit of this Stampin' Up! Sorry, Dazzling Diamonds glitter glue around the edge of this cloud. And then maybe just on the edges of the rainbow. Okay, and so here is my completed project for the My Pink Stamper Pinkalicious blog hop for the month of March. Be sure to visit my blog, sprinkledwithglitter.com, for more details on the blog and products used on this card. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.